Nothing's off limits with this duo. It's father and daughter, Don and Cher. And join the club if you're a Chattermouth.
Hey y'all, it's Cher and
Dawn.
and welcome back to the
Chattermouth Podcast.
Today we thought it'd be super fun if we did a full reality TV tell-all. We have a very special guest. Lauren is back with us to tell all about reality TV. I was on MTV's My Super Sweet 16, then MTV's Exiled, and then 4 seasons on TLC's Smothered. So I feel like I have a lot, and so was my mom. She was on all of those with me. So I feel like we have a lot to discuss. And then Lauren, do you want to tell them what you've been on so far?
Yeah, so I was on Smothered season 3 and 4.
So we definitely have a lot to talk about. Let's start with the casting process because that's where it all begins. What was casting for your season? What was that like for you?
So casting for me was during COVID time. So we did everything virtually. Whenever they had contacted me after I had submitted my application, they contacted me and we set up all of these like virtual Zoom interviews. So first it was with me and then with my mom and then my ex-wife my wife at the time was doing them, my dad, even my sister who didn't really appear too much on the show. We actually even had our manicurist. He was part of the interviews as well.
Really? But he wasn't on the
He
TV show.
decided he didn't want to do the show. But yeah, we talked about.
Are you so close with your
I
manicurist?
don't even have my nails done right now.
Wow, like
he was like a really big part of our lives at that point. Because,
Really?
Yeah, Jimmy, if you're watching,
that's so funny.
yeah, it's so funny because he was like a big part of like my mom like coming to terms with me, like coming out and stuff. So yeah, like throughout the casting process, they were really interested in that kind of dialogue that my mom would like. Her therapist was like her going to get her nails done.
Wow.
But then also he did my nails before my first date with Laura Lee, before my wedding. Like, you know, for all I
He was,
was
like,
only
your
getting it done
person.
during the special events, but my mom was going like every week. And so like we exchanged Christmas presents and like as you do, you know.
I want to just ask you, so
Wow.
you decided that I want to try to be on a reality TV show, that you
Yeah.
were looking to be a reality TV star.
When I saw the description of what Smothered was, at this point I had never seen the show. I didn't even Google it after reading it. I don't know why. I guess I didn't realize that it was already like a show that had been filmed and aired 2 seasons before my time. But I've always been super uncomfortable. I have always been super comfortable in front of the camera. It's funny, there are a few shows like Sweet 16.
I was just going to say, this is really funny. Wait, yes, you tell.
So when I had my Super Sweet 16, my mom and I reached out to the show because I mean, mine was
to be on it too. It's so
something.
for
funny.
my town. Mine was a big deal. Like whenever I saw the first season of the show, we were like, well, that's kind of what we were like planning on doing anyway. But as like far as the show goes, it wasn't going to be that big, you know. But for my town, it was huge.
So
Oh,
that's
that's
really cool.
something.
Did you see My Sweet 16 by chance?
I have seen clips. I've seen
okay.
clips.
You're, like,
I know
very
you got
much of a
pushed in a
clip
pool just like
girl.
your mama.
I did. Isn't that so funny? I like never put that together until somebody on Reddit posted a picture of like my mom getting pushed in the pool and I got pushed in the
So
pool, which
funny.
is so funny. Different TV shows though. But that's interesting. Yeah, our casting process, we had met, I think the same casting director for Smothered was all virtual, and you'd come face to face and like talk virtually. And then I think he met with Jared. Did he meet with Daddy or Grant?
No,
I'm
he
not
didn't.
sure.
No.
We were season 1, and then for my Super
I
Sweet,
remember when he saw us for the first time on the screen. He looked at both of us, and he went, "Whoa!"
because we were like dressed the
I
exact
believe
same
it.
for that. And
I
It was
believe
so
it.
funny.
and
I
our
remember
hair we wore our hair like up, like
Sony.
yeah.
So wait, did y'all dress the same like before the show too?
Yeah. We
Yeah.
always
Yes.
were like similar.
Yes, we always had a little bit of a difference between us.
And also,
Like,
my mom does like most of our shopping, so I'm not like a big
yeah.
shopper.
That-
So she'll just like
I
find
feel the
something
same way.
and then she'll just buy 2. which
I
is
am
really
not the
nice.
shopper, but I'll go in my mom's closet. I just wish we wore the same shoe size.
Really?
Do y'all?
No,
That-
that's the
and I'm
same
like,
thing.
My mom, I can get away with wearing her clothes. She can wear some of my clothes. Like that we can do, but we can never wear the same shoe size.
Same. It's
It's
the
so
worst.
annoying.
I know.
we have that same
Same
problem.
problem.
I love to shop. I shop
Yeah.
till I drop, so
Yeah.
I do all the shopping.
She does. I assigned
Yeah.
her that role.
I'm just not a shopper. I can do the online thing now that that's more common. I'm like, okay, I can pick some things. I'll have like Oh my gosh, trundles of clothes come in the mail, and then I send half of them back because it's just not my style.
It's too easy.
My mom's the shopper too.
Shopping online is too easy. You just like click a button.
Oh my god!
And, just, like,
and
pay
Apple
you.
Pay. Let's talk about Apple Pay because I don't even have to bring my purse to a store. It's just I just take my phone.
Exactly.
It's dangerous.
I literally don't even bring a purse anymore. I just carry my phone.
Just
like,
my phone. I know. I don't need it.
Yeah, it's so crazy. But for my Super Sweet 16, the casting process was a little different. I submitted all the information to be on the show, like kind of like you, just like a write up. But then they called me and they're like, we want you to film a tour of your house as if you're on MTV Cribs.
I did the same.
You did
I did do that.
Same?
I had correspondence with them, but it just didn't go further than that.
Interesting. And then it was there was no virtual back then. It was just a phone call.
Wait a minute. Also, you had this big camera with like a big videotape on. Remember?
Oh yes, it was like a camcorder. It wasn't like your phone.
God.
Like my mom had to pull out the big camcorder,
so
hold it on her shoulder, like the ones you had back in the 80s and 90s.
And then you told me remember to mail it because you were going to camp the next day.
Right, you have to snail mail it and hope it gets there. It's not like Dropbox. It's such a different world.
Well, and you brought up the camera recorder, like the old style.
Yes.
And that brought me back to because the biggest drama that happened at my Sweet 16 is my dad and I had a choreographed dance.
You did?
Yes, it started out as a slow dance. I hate that I'm just not remembering this, but it started out off as like a slow dance, like father-daughter dance, and then it went into Pussycat Girls.
And
then it went into AC/DC.
That's
and it was
so
we
funny.
rehearsed it, we had it down, there was a little part. Obviously, the Pussycat Dolls, I was dancing, and then AC/DC, he was jamming out, and then we were so excited for it. We forgot to take the cap off of their camcorder.
Oh no! Are you serious? And people didn't have phones back then.
No,
so they weren't filming.
I have no evidence of that.
Oh, that's the worst.
I know. And I remember practicing that dance. You know what I mean? For my Sweet 16.
You were so excited.
That would have been good TV.
That would have been so good. Oh, my Super Sweet 16, you missed out. Yeah. You missed out. That's really funny. That's interesting because back when we were 16, I feel like it wasn't as cool to be so close with your family, with your parents. So I love that you did that with your dad.
Yeah. Oh, my parents were adorable. They, I arrived in a white Hummer, and I had a pink carpet instead of a red carpet.
Gosh, you actually went all out.
I made everyone wear pink, either pink or black, and then I wore a gold dress. Yeah, I wore a gold dress. I looked like a Dolly Parton. My boobs were out. I don't know what my parents were thinking.
Wait, you have to send photos so we can put that in the podcast.
So cringy, y'all.
We're gonna post this on Instagram.
Well, that show was so big then, and you only wanted a big Sweet 16.
Exactly.
It
influenced it for sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that is so fun. And then what was for Exiled? I was on MTV's Exiled after that, which is where they sent me away to live with a tribe.
So
in
I don't know
Panama.
anything about this.
Yeah, it was really cool, but they didn't interview me for that because it was a surprise. I didn't know I was going to be on the show. It's my mom.
Hold on. It's one of those things where they kidnap you at night.
Exactly.
Stop
it's like
it.
that. They didn't kidnap me at night.
No.
I come in. I was shopping with my friends, and I come in, and there's cameras there.
So you didn't even know.
I didn't even know.
You were going to be on any show.
No. Isn't that crazy?
That's
and my
wild.
mom just set my mom, being the smothering mom that she is, sent me to live with a tribe in the middle of Panama.
I thought it would be a great experience for you because you
Dawn.
went to really grow up before she starts college.
But what was the interview like for you?
I was very nervous about her leaving though, but they said she'll be safe and everything. That was my biggest thing. Is she going to be safe?
I'm
away?
sure, but you
Oh
probably
my
still had to sign a release that if she wasn't.
Yeah, you probably did.
But
And I couldn't speak to her. That's when she
hell
was
to
sent
the no.
away. That was
Yeah.
the worst.
No, can you imagine
Oh my
signing Bella
gosh.
for something and sending?
That's so true. To live with a tribe, oh my gosh, that is so crazy.
But
That
it
is
would
wild.
it really made her appreciate what she had in life.
But I'm sure
Yeah.
the production team and everyone that talked to you made you feel like she's going to be safe, she's going to be well taken care of, and that's why they're so good at what they do. They
know.
really make you trust them.
it's
and
so true.
I mean, I remember hearing because I also did auditions for MTV Made.
Oh,
And
cool.
we'll kind of get into that. But it's just funny because I saw somebody else who was on that show and do a TikTok years later and said, #1 rule about reality number one rule about reality TV is never trust your producers. And
So
you know,
interesting.
I did.
So
I loved them. I
interesting.
loved my team. Even like our sound guy and the cameraman. Like we became really close. We had like rap parties at the end of seasons and things like that.
You know, that's something we should talk about because it is interesting. Like they start becoming like your best friend and you start to really trust in them, but they're kind of manipulating you sometimes to get the information that they want from you. And you feel like you can talk to them. You feel like they're your therapist. You can tell them everything because they're like your best friend.
Exactly.
But then they're, you know,
right.
They're,
It's still a job.
It's still a job. It's their job, and their
Yes,
job
it
is
is.
to make you feel like they're your best friend. And it's hard because like you do start to feel like they're your best friend. I mean, but then the show is done, and you're like,
Yeah.
where are you?
Exactly.
Where have you been? Where are you?
Exactly. Like you get to know them so much. And I think we had kind of talked about it behind the scenes of y'all didn't necessarily like eat with them when it was
Yes.
time for lunch and stuff like that. Whereas my family, I mean, you know, Louisiana, we're like, oh, we'll cook for y'all. Like, you know, we'll do a crawfish bowl. We'll cook spaghetti and meatballs. And we all ate together like at the table like a family.
Yeah.
And then you're seeing that person you just shared, like, oh, they just shared like what their kids are doing this weekend and stuff like that, sitting behind the camera. And I'm like talking to them, but I'm not. I'm talking to the world.
You're talking to the world, right? It's so interesting. Some of them producers I'm still close with, like Jill from MTV's My Super Sweet 16.
Yes.
She was still like, I'm so close with
Oh,
her.
that's good.
But then a different producer from like, she was for a different part of Sweet 16. We did like a tell-all later. I'm so close with her. But then another like producer, I remember I like met up with them afterwards and went out, and I was so young, and they were like showing the nightlife, the party scene, the drugs, and everything.
Wow.
It was like a whole different ball game. So it was very interesting to see, like, I don't know, people you look up to so much. But that was like a different time.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's people that I wish I could have spent more time with. So like our producers and our local team, we spent a lot of time with them. But I like always clicked. We both clicked, I think, with Paul, who is our casting
so
director.
sweet.
And
Love
we both got to meet him in person.
Yes.
But I wish I would have been able to spend more time with him. He was awesome.
He's a really sweet guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like this, all the TLC crew was really
Yes,
awesome.
they are.
What were you gonna say?
I wanted to say, so on being on Smothered, what was your favorite memorable scene that you recall?
My favorite memorable scene. Okay, so it's very bittersweet. It's very dramatic. It's very real. And you don't hear that a lot when you are talking about reality TV. But it was when my mom was kind of pushing me to take a pregnancy test after I had done an IUI that we had filmed. And I mean, that was real. That was me. I hadn't taken a test yet. It was time for me to take one. I was praying and hoping. Like I recorded myself just like on my Snapchat, you know, like on my for my close friends and family. And I didn't post it, but like I saved it for later. And it's of me crying in the bathroom before I take it. And I'm like, just please let this be it. Like I've wanted this for so long. Please let this be it. And so my reaction to that negative pregnancy test is so real.
Wow.
For whatever reason, you know, the lights, the camera, all the people there also, I believe, hoping and praying that this was it for me.
Yeah.
I'm sure they wanted that reaction, you know, of it being positive. But I just felt like I had the world on my shoulders, not just for me, but for my mom right there and the show. And it was a lot. I ended up walking outside and like needing a minute.
That's interesting. I find that some scenes, you know, that you do on the reality show, you want to relive. Like the one that's most memorable for us is when Cher actually told me on national TV that she's pregnant, and I'll never forget that. And I love to rewind it and see it over and over again. But then it's hard when you do a scene like that, and you have to to see it over again when you're on reality TV. That's
like
difficult.
Well,
The
yeah,
sadness.
like the fights are like the
Who
fights
wants to
between
watch-
you and
Right.
Jared's family.
Right,
Like
who wants to
who
watch
wants to see
that?
that? Like we've come so far, we're in a good place. Now we have to go back and watch this.
Yes, and that's the biggest.
That's hard.
That was the biggest struggle for me, is because I don't watch the show. I never have watched it back. So even that scene I'm talking about, I haven't like really watched it. When it aired, I remember like taking a screenshot of the TV or something, and I was like, because at that point, like I was pregnant, and it was like it was great to kind of reflect back on it for a second, but I don't watch it back. But that's the biggest struggle right there, is people are seeing something that you went through months ago. And you're over it. You know, whatever fight you had, you've resolved. Whatever feelings you had, you know, in that case, I was trying to get pregnant. I was really upset. But by the time it aired, you know, I was pregnant.
Yeah.
So
it's so true. And sometimes like reality TV really is like a part, like it almost feels like they faded to the background sometimes, the cameras, because you're really in that zone.
Oh yeah,
and they're there and they disappear, and they're there for those like really big moments. And you see the big moments on TV because the day-to-day can be boring, just like no one wants to watch the boring stuff. They want to watch the big moments,
right?
But the big moments a lot of times are very real, and so like that's a perfect example.
Yeah, it's one of the most real moments, like I said. Another really fun, actually, this is one that I have watched over again, and because I think it's hilarious, is at my baby shower. Laura Lee went a little crazy at the baby shower. If you haven't watched that episode, that is the one episode you definitely need to watch because that, again, was real. Laura Lee went absolutely bonkers, and she had the most crazy things at my baby shower, one of which were these like bingo cards that she was passing around. And I told my goddaughter, y'all, I think she was like 12 at the time, maybe 11. And I told her, I was like, go help Laura Lee like pass out this game. I don't know what it is, but like go help her. She wanted to be involved. So I just told my like 11-year-old goddaughter that. And then I see one of the bingo cards on the table and I pick it up. And it is women's faces going like, and it says labor or lust. So you're trying to decide if this woman is in labor or is she having an orgasm?
Wow.
And I just told my 12-year-old goddaughter to go help pass these out.
So funny.
The second I see it, and this is on camera, and like my baby shower, they wasn't like, hey, we're gonna film this, we're gonna film this. It was like they're at my baby shower in the corners, like whatever they see happens.
Yes,
right.
yes.
And so that happened, and I immediately like, Laura Lee,
Right.
freaked out, and I'm like so glad they caught that because that was like my real reaction to like, what the fuck are you doing?
Right. Exactly.
And like these are my real friends and family at a real baby shower. Like this, I get it's for TV, but this is my real life.
Yeah, that's so true. Yeah, I remember at like Sweet 16 and with TLC when I was filming, like my Sweet 16 birthday and when I was filming the gender reveal party, when they're there for these big parties, they really just fade to the background. Like I don't even notice them at all because you're saying hi to everybody and there's somebody like following you, but which I sometimes felt bad for. I'm like weaving in and out of the crowd and they have to like come follow, but you don't even realize they're there for those like big moments.
Yeah, exactly.
Like that. What is like a schedule like for you when like the TV crew would come and start filming?
They typically, we try to do like a long weekend. So I would take off work, maybe like one Friday. We would start like Thursday after work and film, and then I'd take off for like on Monday. So it'd be like Thursday night to Monday. It's
interesting. I think that's a big misconception that a lot of people have with reality TV is that they're filming 24/7 all the time. And now I do think they do film 24/7 while they're there. They're just not there all the time.
Right. A lot of people ask me if I was like still working, like friends that knew I was doing the show. They're like, oh, did you quit your job at the bank? And at that time I was like, no, like.
Right. They
like
work around
This is like, you do make some money doing this, but this isn't like take off.
When they are there, they're there from like 8 in the morning.
It's such a long
like
days.
10 at night. I remember I used to just fall on my face afterwards.
We were so tired.
So tired.
Because you're trying to, like, there's a lot going on. They usually come during the most, like, packed times, like, in your life.
Of course.
But my MTV's My Super Sweet 16, they were there 24/7, literally 24/7 for 3.5 weeks straight.
Really?
Straight, yes.
Wow.
They filmed everything. Like, every moment, it was
That's
there.
really interesting. So when I did audition for MTV Made, they like came to my high school. I think that's what they did. They went to high schools and like took applications there. And I got pretty far in like that process, but ultimately they chose someone else in my high school.
For Made?
Made.
Okay.
Yeah. And I wanted to be made into a kickboxer.
A kickboxer.
I don't
That's
know why.
cool.
I honestly don't know why. I think I wanted to do something active because I've always like loved like fitness and stuff, but I'm never like good at it.
Interesting.
I've tried every sport once. Like literally name it. I've tried soccer. I've tried tennis.
That's
I've tried
awesome.
powder puff, like flag
Oh,
football,
yeah, me too.
golf, bowling. Like I failed bowling in college. I literally flunked the class.
I didn't know you could take a bowling class though. That's really
Yeah,
cool.
You can take it and you
I
can
wish
fail
they-
it.
I wish I got to take it. That's cool. But that's really funny. What was auditions like for that?
It was just like we met in the auditorium at school and they just asked you questions on camera. So
Yeah.
it wasn't anything like really glamorous. And like I said, it was at my school. So I think they narrowed it down to like 10 people when I got cut. But I was just excited about like the prospect. I was really into drama club. I love being on stage.
Yeah.
Any excuse to have attention.
That's
I'll
so
take
funny.
it.
Yeah. Sorry to pause the podcast, but if you're loving our podcast, then you'll love our book. And we have to tell you a little about it.
Actually, we wrote this book,
And it's about how we got this close and how you can too.
It's called A Bond That Lasts Forever. And basically, it goes over our life's ups and downs. It shows pictures throughout our life and has adorable quotes throughout to inspire other mothers and daughters to have their own special relationship. You can pick it up on Amazon.com, at Barnes & Nobles, or wherever you get your books. Now, let's get back to the podcast. Oh, no. Do you know what Made is, the show?
No.
That was a show we used to watch it all the time. It was like just like My Super Sweet 16, where somebody gets to be made into whatever like their dream job is. So she wanted to be a kickboxer. So somebody like a professional kickboxer will work with her. And then there's like going to be this big like kickboxing tournament
or something at the end.
Yeah. And it's
What
like,
would you want to be made into?
that's a good one. Well, what I don't know, like a gymnast or like something like that maybe, or a cheerleader, like can do like
A
all those thrown in the
dancer.
air.
Really,
Well, I felt like I am a dancer.
I was just about to
dancer,
say, you
but,
kind of
like,
are a
dancing
dancer
with-
cheer.
Yeah.
So it has to be something like out of your
different.
box.
Right, something like totally different. What would you be made? Oh, maybe a tennis player, so I can finally keep up with Daddy and the boys. What about you?
I'd love to be
brothers?
made into like a ballerina.
Oh, wow.
I always wanted to take ballet
Ooh,
lessons.
or
Yeah.
a ballroom dancer.
Oh, yes.
I would love to. Be
I
good
want
at
to
that.
take ballroom dancing so bad, like just as like a date night,
That
you
is
know,
so
like
fun.
once
I
a month
know.
or once
I
a week
did
class.
that with Mason.
Yeah?
It's so fun.
I feel like it would be like it's spice up, you know. your
100.
life.
Yes, I
It is
love
a lot of fun.
Okay, so maybe you remember like Room Raiders and like Date My Mom.
Oh yes,
I feel like y'all would have been so good on Date My Mom because they would have known exactly what they were getting, right?
so funny.
fun.
Yes,
I feel like the mom and daughters on those weren't necessarily like they didn't necessarily look alike. They weren't necessarily the same personality. It was like, misleading, but y'all would have been perfect.
it's so funny. They don't have shows like that anymore.
No.
I wish they did. I used to love
Oh my gosh,
watching
like
MTV.
Next.
I was just thinking that when you said that. That was. Do you remember that show? Oh my gosh, this was like our.
What was that?
This is like, do you remember like the
Yes.
summer
Oh,
of
so
these
good.
shows? Like I would
Yes.
like stay up till 4 o'clock in the morning watching MTV.
Me too.
Like
they were
Room
so
Raiders
good.
and stuff.
They should bring these back. Like, it was like when somebody would get to date like a whole like one
A
person,
bus of
and
people.
a bus of girls, like a guy or a girl. One of them would date
Right.
someone, and then if they didn't like them, they would say next, and then the next person.
So
would
some people would get off the
come.
bus, they would date for like 10 minutes. Maybe that person would say like, oh, they don't like Chinese
Right.
food. And they say, okay, well, next. But some people would like get off, like wouldn't touch the ground,
Oh.
would be going down the stairs
Yes.
off the bus. And the person would be like, next.
Oh,
Just
that's
based
so
on their looks.
rude.
It's
Yeah.
so rude. I
It's
felt so
rude.
bad for those.
It's
people.
really funny though if you watch like the last couple of episodes because you know like they started doing like gay guys and stuff.
Yeah.
And so then it's like there were gay guys on the bus that like were into each other more than the actual contestants, and they were like
That's so funny.
they would get off the bus and be like next.
That's
so funny.
really funny. I want to find old reruns of that. I love
very
that. I
cool.
wonder what that was like, with
Yeah.
those experiences.
I used to think
were.
about like being on Room Raiders when I was watching it, and I'm like, oh,
Oh
this
my gosh!
wouldn't be
Remember
good.
the black light they would have? They would
Oh my
so
God.
gross. They had this black
I
light.
don't think I realized what they were
Oh,
looking
it's-
for
yes,
at
we
the
were
time.
too young for
and
that.
now that you just brought it up, I'm like, that's
so bad.
horrible.
Oh, so somebody would come. They would like raid somebody's room, and they would take a black light to their sheets.
Oh, that's
and they'd find like cum
terrible.
stains
Oh,
or like
that's
whatever. It was so
terrible.
gross.
I can't believe I'm just realizing what that was for.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
that was crazy. Oh my goodness. Well, what was like your favorite part of being on a reality show in general? I would say like what was your favorite part too, Mom?
Well, being on it with you, I think I love the closeness we had together and that time, that special time that we shared together.
Me too. That was really fun. And also like just the experience, I think for me is really cool. Like there's like cameras here and lights and just learning how they do everything. I thought was so
and I
awesome.
think also the memories. I think
Yeah.
everything is about creating memories.
Totally.
And to me, that was one memories that we'll have for a lifetime. Like,
And you
her
can even
party-
rewatch 'em.
Right, her parties forever on,
Yeah.
on TV.
Well, and with us, we're really lucky that we were both able to have like our pregnancies and our like birth stories kind of out there and recorded for us. It's almost
Yes.
like home videos.
Yeah, it's so
Yes.
true.
And like as much as I say like, oh, I don't want to watch them, I don't like to look back at them. Our children might want to look back at them one
Yeah.
day, and
Yes.
they have that. That's really cool.
It is so true. I know. I love that. Belle thinks she's like a little actress now.
Does she?
'cause
So she
was
like
on it.
understands that she was on TV.
Yeah,
Oh
it's
my
really
gosh.
cute.
But
Yeah.
one thing that's negative, you have to have thicker skin on with the
Yes.
public.
Yes.
Because the comments, there's a lot of negative comments that people just throw out at you, and you have to be okay with it. You have to be okay with yourself inside and know who you are to be able to handle those comments.
And you know what's funny about that is before the show, I had the thinnest skin. Like I always cared what people thought about me, and I feel like that really
Interesting.
changed me.
Yeah.
In the best way.
That's interesting.
My mom has never really cared what people thought, and I've just always worried about like if someone was laughing in a room, I just in my head I was like, oh, they're laughing about something I did, because I feel like I've always wanted to be the center of attention. So in my world, I always have been. So whether it was good or bad, I just assumed everyone was talking and thinking about me.
No, it's it's so interesting because and that's so true, Mom. If you have to like if you're gonna go on a reality show, like know that everyone's gonna be talking about you and it's not gonna be good. And I like for me, I think because I was on my Super Sweet 16 at such a young age, having people write comments, it doesn't really affect me at all, luckily. But I hate when Jared goes on like Reddit or something and sees these bad comments because because I don't like him seeing these negative things about me. But I don't care reading it, but it bothers me when people close to me read it. And because I'm always fearful, like, if they're going to start to believe it or something.
Right. So my girlfriend, I've like, please don't watch the show. And luckily her friends, her family are like, we have no,
So interesting.
we have no want to see that show or anything like that. So I'm like, thank God. Like, that's why I love y'all. Because it's just, it paints you in a different light. You're not necessarily that person. And even if you are, it's just.
You were a long time ago. Maybe.
Yeah.
Like,
that
you're
was
not right
years
now.
ago, months ago. It's not what's going on in your life right now.
Well,
So
it's funny you say that because Jared didn't watch my Super Sweet 16 at all until we were engaged on television. There was like a watch your MTV's My Super Sweet 16 and like talk about your episode. It was like
a
pillow talk, but of yourself.
Okay.
So he got to sit down with me and rewatch my episode and like watch it, but it was his first time ever seeing it.
That's funny.
And I thought it was interesting because like that was me at 16.
Right.
And people still will sometimes recognize me and I'm like, how like you're haunted by something you did at 16 years old. And that's the thing with reality TV. It sticks with you no matter how old you get. You know?
That's the thing with like social media too. Like, yes, we were like you were on a show, so that's a lot bigger than, a social platform. But nowadays, cable and like those TV shows aren't as big as like a viral TikTok.
I tell you this too.
Like I think about our
I don't
daughters.
even have cable TV anymore.
I never have on my own.
Isn't
ever.
that crazy? Like I would be more excited probably to meet like a big influencer than I am to meet like an actress. Now, which is so weird.
But like our children,
Such different generation.
But you're like the opposite.
The opposite.
It's so funny.
but like our daughters, you think like everyone like posts everything they do now on social media. They post what they eat, what they do, what they say. And then you also see like altercations and stuff happening out in the wild. Like when someone's doing something wrong, it's recorded.
Yes.
And
cancel culture.
Cancel culture.
Yes.
And like I just hate to think like if I had a camera on me, if other people had phones around me when I was 15, 16, like I would hate for that to follow me.
Right.
Into like my professional life, my career, my future relationships. And that's just really scary to think about, like, for our kids. Again, like we used to, like, at sleepovers, we'd prank call people.
Yes.
And we'd, like, I remember
That's how we had
put
fun.
pickle juice in people's hairs when they fell asleep and, like, slumber each other. But, like, now, like, kids aren't doing that. Now they're, like, taking embarrassing videos of each other and posting it when they get mad. Like, you know what I mean?
Yes. Blackmail.
Yeah.
It's so true. It's such a different world.
You know, I was thinking, the positive of reality TV in my eyes is that you can look back, and if you didn't like something about yourself, you could change it and make yourself a better person if you find that you didn't like something about yourself.
But that negative persona will follow you even if you've changed.
I agree with both of those.
Yeah, because like I watched, my Super Sweet 16 and there was some girls that were like really bad on there or guys like, but I specifically remember this one girl. I was like, oh my gosh, like she is like, how could she act like that? And I'm sure that followed her for so long because I still, when I think of her, I think of that negative persona, even if she's totally changed from it,
Yeah.
But you have to look at the positive of it.
Yeah.
Maybe she changed and she's a better person now and she realizes
wonder.
she's
Yeah.
acted terrible then.
Totally. Because you get to like kind of see yourself. You could take a step back.
Exactly.
It's like
And-
looking in a mirror. It really is.
Right.
But even in a mirror, you don't see that angle of me. Like I see a mirror, I see myself, but someone else is seeing a different angle of me. Just like when you watch yourself, you're picking yourself apart. You're picking out these things from you. And then I don't know. But
It's
that's
true.
a very good
Well,
point of view.
It is a very good point of view. It's also interesting because if you see somebody who's on like a season 1 of a TV show and they come back for season 2, they oftentimes look a little different.
Oh,
Yes.
I did.
You know?
I 100% did. Hold on.
Yes.
The first season that I did, season 3,
Yes.
I didn't get my makeup done. I didn't, I was just like, this is how I look.
Yeah.
And then I saw the show, like I saw the Pillow Talk. I saw like y'all's clips and I was like, oh, like I need a makeup artist. Like,
Yeah, you come back looking better. Like I feel like everybody who's like
Everybody's more
And
groomed.
everyone thinks,
everyone has a glow up.
thinks like, oh, they're like getting paid and like they're getting rich. Like, no, we just see ourselves.
we
and
see
wanna
the
look
reality.
better.
We see the reality and we're like, no, thank you.
Yeah.
Next. That is so funny. Oh my goodness. This was such a fun episode. I love talking about all this reality TV, especially with someone else who like gets that life.
Oh, and okay, so one more thing that is really cool about reality TV is like I listen to a lot of podcasts. I love comedians. That's my thing. And like Your Mom's House podcast is one of my favorites with Tom Segura and his wife Christina. And they were talking about 90 Day Fiance one time. And like they were really into it. I know a lot of people are into that show. And I was sitting there and I was thinking about it. I'm like, we came on, our show aired right before theirs did. Like right before it. I'm like, there's a chance that they either tuned in early and saw a little bit of me, or at the very least, like saw our commercial. And I'm like,
that they did.
that would be so cool.
They
like,
did.
if any celebrities ever knew,
100%. Well,
like who I was.
Demi Lovato watches Smothered.
Yes.
What? She does because she posted on Instagram. She posted a picture on Instagram of us. Yes, of like a clip of Smothered being like, "I love this show."
No, she didn't.
She did 100%.
She watches Smothered.
She does. I know.
Hold on.
And
Of
you
all
met her
the
in
celebrities
person.
you could have said just now, I've been on the record. That is my hall pass. That is, oh my God, that is my 1000% celebrity crush. And you're telling me she watched the show.
She watched the show.
She knows who I am.
She 100% knows who you are.
She knows who I am. Hold on.
She's like, I need to text right now.
Oh my God. I'm shaking, literally.
No, she is. It's amazing. You don't know who's watching you. You think nobody knows who you are. And then all of a sudden, you're on a show and you are no one and they know you.
You know, because you watch Love is Blind. And who was it? Travis Kelce apparently like posted something that he was watching it. And I remember Chelsea was like, oh my God, like Taylor Swift probably knows who I am. And I was like, that is crazy. And
yes.
Literally, you could have said any other celebrity and I would not be freaking out right now.
Yes. I was at a vegan restaurant in California with Shared. I met her. Wait, so this is like a crazy story. I love Demi Lovato so much. Demi, if you're listening, thank you for listening.
Oh my God.
You. No.
If you're listening. My phone number is 504. We can outdo all the exclusives. Oh my God.
Oh my gosh.
She can stick anything in me.
We were at this restaurant. All of a sudden, she walked in, and I was like, "Jared, it's Demi Lovato. It's Demi Lovato." He's like, "Go say hi." I'm like, "I can't just walk over to her at a restaurant."
Yes, you can. I'd have to.
And I said, go over.
I think I'd faint. Oh my God, I'm getting hot thinking about it.
No, I was so nervous. He's like, "You're gonna regret it." I had no makeup on. I looked my worst, and I was like, "Why do I have to look terrible today?" And I like got up the courage to go over there. And I was
Did
like,
she know who you were?
Hi. And she's like, "Hi." She's like, "Oh, is your mom here too?" And I was like, "Oh my God!" I'm like, "You do know who I am." I died. It was
Oh my God.
I think I blacked out on the rest of it, but it was a good conversation. And I wish I took a picture, but I didn't want to make her feel awkward.
I've never been like truly starstruck like that. Even like I think like Laura Lee dragged me like Comic-Con one year, and who was it? Oh my God, it was the guy who plays Flash.
Oh, yes. I know what you're talking about.
So I was obsessed with Ted in college, and he's in that movie. And so like I went up to him and was like, "You're in Ted."
Oh
and
my
I'm
goodness.
like, I know he's in like a lot more stuff than that, but I'm like, I knew him from Ted.
Yeah.
But then it was like $30 or $40 to get a picture autograph, and I'm like, I would never pay money to like take a photo with someone. Or I would never pay money to get you to sign something. I'm just not that type of person. But Demi Lovato, like
That's next level, though.
That is the only celebrity I can think of that I'm like infatuated with.
That's so funny.
She is a beautiful
And
girl.
I can watch the show.
I know, it's the best.
Oh my God.
And that would be like me with Justin
I need
Timberlake.
this clip to go viral because I need her to see it.
That is, everyone help it go viral. So she contacts Lauren. That'd be
God.
amazing. I know. Too good. Too good. Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, on that high, we're going to say goodbye. No, I'm just kidding. Anyways, thank you all so much for listening to the Chattermouth Podcast. This was so much fun. If you have any questions about reality TV, go ahead and hit up the DMs. Make sure to follow and subscribe to Chattermouth Podcast. I'll go ahead also and put Lauren's Instagram handle and all of that information in the
blast
comments.
Demi Lovato's comments with it.
100%. We're going to get her to contact Lauren. That'd be unreal.
God, stop.
Oh my gosh. All right. Anyways, thanks all for tuning in. We'll see y'all next time.
Bye.